let's speak about Kinship. We thought that Kinship is a concept album with
Mm.
an epic and cinematic feel. So, can you tell us about the story behind the album and how you translated it into this very good music?
Um, First of all, we never we never write the lyrics or come up with the concepts before the music is written.
Okay.
So we start out with the music, and it starts with my brother Jesper and I. We put together arrangements or suggestions for arrangements for whole songs, finalized songs, so to speak, but without, of course, bass, drums, and vocals.
Okay.
And then we go on from there as a collective and try out each other's ideas and see if we can get as close as possible to something that is kind of a final song, but without the vocals.
Okay.
And that's in the demo process. We might then have to go back when we do the vocals, go back and change some stuff, but not that often actually. But when the demo is on the table and we have something that is as finished as possible to listen to, then we listen to the music, and Jesper and Jon, our singer,
Yeah.
and we discuss what associations we get from the music. What does this music sound like? What does it create any pictures within our minds?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Some in
Yes.
your mind. Yeah. Okay.
And from then on, we kind of develop the concept. And then, of course, when we have a somewhat finalized concept, then Jon he writes the lyrics. So the writing of the exact words, that's Jon's work, but we discuss concept and stuff like that before
Uh,
that.
that's amazing. That's amazing. And I know. I know. Having a band is it's sometimes it's difficult to fit lyrics into your music that you have done before. So, John does it quite well.
Yes, because it's I sometimes we joke about this, and we kind of just our uh, we we believe that we're kind of lucky because we shouldn't be that lucky because it's not. It, Jon is extremely talented, and he almost every idea, the first ideas he comes up with, is the ideas that will end up on the album anyway.
Okay.
So there's just some creative chemistry between us that just works.
I
It's
know.
it's it's very easygoing actually.
Ah, cool. So, what's right now? What's your favorite Yotun song and why? Mine right now is Mislan. I love it.
Of all our songs.
Yeah, of all our songs,
Yeah.
your songs.
Well, like you would expect, I like and respect them all so far. But
Yeah, are you? Yeah, they are your child. I know.
yeah. It's very it's we spend a lot of time on writing and recording our album, so that we spend a lot of time with the songs. So we get to we we give the songs enough time before they are released to breathe and to show themselves is if they can stand the test of time
Hmm.
in terms of our taste. And so far I can say that about all our songs. So I don't think we have like fillers or anything like that.
Hmm.
So I think our, you could say, musical peak achievement in terms of kind of creating very exciting journeys and being a qualified progressive band.
Hmm.
I would definitely say that I think Access All Worlds and Safe Across the Endless Night from Access All Worlds are pretty spectacular, and the same goes for Kinship Elitiac and
Okay.
and the anguished ethereal. So it's very hard for me. Those four songs are like the big ones, and maybe the anguished ethereal, the last song on
Yeah,
Kinship, is one of my favorites, and also
that's
but
cool.
also more simplistic going driving songs like the Tower of Cosmic Nihility or
Yeah.
and of course Mistland or at the moment I think Earth to Sky is pretty awesome. So
Oh,
so
well,
so so it really depends on my mood and it changes a lot actually.
yeah, cool. Let's talk about yourself as a guitarist. Who are your biggest guitar influence and what have you learned from them?
My I have to mention people that I have grown up with.
Yeah.
That you know that I have shown me some ways into music that where it became something real for me and concrete. And that's like, for instance, my uncle, or I also been so extremely lucky to have wonderful guitar teachers,
Cool.
especially during my childhood years and teenage years and up into my 20s. Uh, Both in terms of playing classical guitar and electric
Cool.
guitar.
Cool.
So that's you always have to mention, the people who were nearest to
Rise
you
you
and
up.
that
Yeah.
raised me up and pushed me. Because when you talk about guitar, the known legends,
Yeah. Guitar
it's
heroes
they
and all that stuff.
yeah, they are, they feel like they are very close to one, but still they are totally out of reach.
Okay.
So I have to start there. But of course, it started out for me with the more bluesy rock and roll, but I loved the energy and the electricity of the playing style of AC/DC and Angus Young.
Okay.
So I would say Angus Young is definitely one of my main inspirations. I also have to mention Kirk Hammett and James Hetfield of
Cool.
Metallica
Cool. Cool.
because
Cool.
of yeah, and and then of course you can go on from there with all the guitar players and Megadeth and Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and so on. And Tony Iommi of Black Sabbath is very essential to me. Steve Hackett of Genesis, and I would also say that the guitar players that have played with Ozzy Osbourne, like Randy Rhoads,
Yeah.
very essential for me, very essential. And then,
Mhm.
of course, when you go into the extreme metal, there's so many, but you can take Greg McIntosh from Paradise Lost, or Bill Steer from Carcass, or Chuck from Death, or um, uh, the guitar players in Mastodon, crazy good guitar players, and so on. So there's just so many. But if I have to narrow it down, I would say that I, it's for me, it's definitely the sound of Metallica. Even that I know that we don't sound like Metallica, it's what has inspired me the most. And then I love the guitar tone and the guitar work in I have to say Paradise Lost and Carcass.
Cool. That's
Yeah,
really, really
just
cool. Just for
but
mention some. Okay.
yeah. There's too many.
Which what gear do you use for recording and live performances? It differs a lot from for recording to live performances in the
I,
gear
I,
you
I
use? The
What
gear
gear
you
we
use.
use?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very simple setup we have right now for our live performances. We
Mm,
use Helix.
mm,
Uh, we have the Helix set up in our rack, and basically make all our sounds and our tone from that. And the main reason behind that is that it's easy. You can set it up, and you don't have to. It's just plug and play.
Okay.
So so that's the reason behind that. And it works for us, and it sounds really good. It's a bit more complicated when we do the albums,
Okay.
because we record all our stuff in our home studios, and then we bring it to this. For instance, with Kinship, we bring it to Hansen Studio,
Cool.
and I'm not even sure I have a clear idea about all the different cabinets and amps he used. It's just all over the place, and and for Jesper and I, we really, when we are in the studio, we really don't go that much into detail about have specific preferences. We tend more to kind of express our ideas or our visions to the producer of what we would like it to sound like, and then he tries out some different stuff, and we have some stuff to choose from. And what we like the most is what we go for. And
Okay.
I haven't really written down what it is that we have chosen, so it's a very boring answer. We our it's like it's we have it, for we have two camps in Jotun. We have definitely we have our drummer Björn and Eskil, our bass player.
Yeah.
They are very much into gear, and then we have Jesper and I. We are not that much into gear as long as we can express what we want and we can get where we want to go. So we have much more. It's like 90% of our focus is on
Sounding like you want to sound.
right hand, left hand, grab the guitar and write the riffs and put together the songs. And when we with Jacob Hansen, when we express to him what we would like, we are not talking about in terms of equalization and stuff like that. Not that much. We we're
Okay.
we are like it's we are look we speak a different language.
I
Like
know.
it has to be atmospheric and brutal at the same time. It has to be out there but very tightened together and organic but yet mechanical. Stuff like that. So
I
we
know.
try to yeah. So we try, and
Yes.
he tries some stuff, and he says something like this, and often because it's just so talented people that we've worked with. So we don't spend a lot of time on finding something that we really like, and if we like it in the beginning of the process very much, we know it will come out great at the end.